The current draft of the House GOP's budget plan is tight on education spending. Education generally takes up just over half of the budget. In this plan, SEEK funding, that's the algorithm that essentially determines how much money schools get per student, remains unchanged from the last budget. 2 years ago, the budget increased SEEK by 3% in fiscal year 25 and 6% in 26. Transportation funding was also reduced to its 2025 funding of roughly 90%, down from covering them 100% in the 2026 fiscal year. Lawmakers on the education front have frequently cited record funding in past budgets. The Senate Education Chair shared these comments with us this week just before the budget's filing.
Over the past two budgets, our General Assembly has increased funding to K through 12 education by $1 billion. And so that is a very significant increase that we've given to K through 12. We'll see what it is this time.
Senator West also added that the legislature has passed recent laws on early literacy and numeracy initiatives to address the core mission of education. Representative Donworth, let's start with you here. We mentioned education some in the last block. Given the amounts being projected right now, teacher raises are not likely to happen. What Republicans have said about record funding, what case does your side have for spending more right now, given how much has already been spent the past few budgets?
And what I would say, I think what the supermajority has done to add to education in the last several years has been great. But what really is that, yes, the actual dollars are more, but when you look at those real dollars, when they're adjusted for inflation and the different costs, it hasn't kept up with what happened when we start right after the CARA decision in the 90s. The costs have gone up, and we keep adding responsibilities to our schools and adding things that we want them to be able to do, but then we're not funding them to be able to do those appropriately. So really looking at the overall system of what are we asking our education system to provide, and really are we providing the resources that they need to be able to do that? And I don't think that we are right now.
Representative Bray, you have any response to that? And what was the thinking to not increase education spending right now?
Like Senator West said, we've made tremendous investments in education, going up in SEEK over 9% over the last biennium. That's not really sustainable into the future. So in the first version of the budget, we've just kind of pressed the pause button. And even though we've left the SEEK funding at the same dollar amount, because that all flows through a formula and there's local taxes and local inputs go into that, it's still increasing education funding overall by $67 million. So even though the dollars figures stay the same per student, because of the way the formula works, we're still putting more money into education. Now, that's the first draft, first version. I can promise you there will be a committee sub, and then after it passes the House, the Senate will do whatever the Senate does. They will have a committee sub, and we're probably not going to absolutely agree, so it's going to go to a conference committee. And so this is the very, very first step, the roughest of rough drafts, and it's just kind of, we know education is a huge issue. Like you said, it accounts for over half of our general fund budget. It is the biggest gorilla in the room. And so putting a pause on that and actually having the conversation of what is the appropriate funding level for education is really the only place to start.
Over the past few years, I've heard a lot of debate over the amount of money that the state is giving to schools right now, and comparing that with the current test scores we're seeing in Kentucky. We've seen a lot of transparency-related stuff, especially related to education, moving right now in the Senate. Does that affect any of the argument you might see over giving more money to education, especially amongst the GOP?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So if you look across the state, with the fiscal responsibility of different school districts, we've got a fiscal responsibility issue. Pumping more and more and more and more money in isn't yielding the results we want, and I absolutely don't think that's the issue in education. Making sure that we're focusing on reading, writing, arithmetic, and kind of refocusing our efforts. There's some fruitful ground there that really needs to be plowed and looked at, because we can't continue to put record amounts of funding in if we're not seeing the results on the back end.
Just a few seconds left here. Is there more you'd like to add to that, Representative?
I think my concern about it is can we have those conversations and not in back channels. You know, the Representative Petrie, when he introduced the bill, said some of these meetings are going to be, these conversations are going to take place in informal and evening sessions even. That's not transparency either. And so I think we've got to be very careful to make sure that we are listening to all of our advocates and all of our organizations, but doing it in a transparent way.